Used to having a bill here for a hat. All right, guys. Hey, we're getting ready to get started here on our normal coffee with KetoMojoGogo.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. We are simulcasting on YouTube on 2 different Facebook groups, and we're going to be sharing those here. So you just give us a few minutes to handle that that little bit of maintenance, and we'll get going here.
What groups?
Our groups.
Yeah.
And the Great Keto for Beginners.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And let's see. Just want to make sure we can all see this everywhere.
We're going to shut down the internet.
Yeah, we're going to break the internet here. All right. You notice it? Okay, that's interesting. Should I turn them sideways? Because of that?
Are they going to be that way?
This is Facebook.
Because mine's showing. Mine's showing okay.
Watch Shauna's. It's not sideways.
Maybe you should change it. I don't know. That's weird. Don't want it sideways.
No, yours isn't sideways.
Wouldn't let me share it to our page, so
All right,
but it's on our group.
Okay.
But not on our page.
I'll share mine to our page.
Coffee for Jiggy. That's a friend.
It's one of our reasons we're here is for the coffee, right? So, hey, Henry, good to see you, buddy. And Sharina, good to see you as well.
Henry.
Yeah, Henry Pointer is a friend of mine from high school.
Oh, wow.
Also, if it doesn't look great on this one, we are also on YouTube Live on KetoMojoGogo. So I can also share images from there, and it's some of the things that I like the YouTube platform because we can do those type of things. But on my camera, it looks like we're displaying sideways. On Shauna's camera, it looks like it's not. On YouTube, it's also not. So we actually have 3 broadcasts going on here at exactly the same time, which is challenging, I'm sure. So sometimes you get some technical things going on, but I have to just finish sharing here a little bit.
Can you see it on KetoMojoGogo on their Facebook page? Because I don't see it.
All right, hold on. Let me see.
But I know I shared it.
On the group or the page?
On the page or on the group. Sorry, guys. We'll start in a second.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today, so we want to make sure we get everybody joined. And you might hear a puppy in the background.
She's in the kennel and she can see us, but
is it? There we go. Yep, I see it on the page.
Okay, good. We're ready.
Okay, so we are.
Hey, my hat keeps on down. That's not good.
We're good to go. So, all right. So, welcome again to Coffee with KetoMojoGogo. We are actually really excited about doing this. This is like our 4th or 5th week now. We've done this in a row. So it's become a weekly thing. Every Sunday at noon Eastern time, we definitely enjoy doing this and talking to you about what's going on in our lives and finding out how things are going on in your lives and helping you to communicate some ways to improve your health as we're improving ours. You got your hat all figured out there?
No. It's a floppy hat. It's not a very good Christmas hat.
Oh, that's life. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask those questions as we go along. We've got a couple topics today. The first topic being, what are we eating on Christmas Day?
We're eating steak and crab legs.
Steak and crab legs, just like everybody else, right?
And scallops. We got scallops.
Oh, yeah, we got some scallops too. But steak and crab legs. If you're on YouTube Live, I could actually share that with you. So I can show you what that looks like. So if I share the screen, yeah, and you'll be able to see that we got 2 New York strips and some Dungeness crab legs. I don't have a picture of the scallops, but we'll be out having those.
They look like scallops.
Yeah, you know what scallops look like. And so for us, it's going to kind of be a carnivore Christmas, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to have steak as the main dish with a salad of crab legs.
Salad.
So that's what we're looking forward to for Christmas. So if you guys want to share what you guys are eating for Christmas, do so in the comments. We would really like to see those type of things. You guys share with us what you've got going on as well. All right, so the next topic is we put out a poll last week, to get ready for the prior week's Coffee with KetoMojoGogo, and we asked what you guys want to talk about. So one of the topics that we didn't get to was what are the healthy fats? Because if you remember right, the whole concept of the way we practice keto is that we eat less than 20 grams of carbs per day.
Plenty of fat.
And we eat fatty meats and vegetables until we're full, and then we don't eat when we're not hungry. I mean, that's as difficult as this is. We're not tracking any particular macros, like a lot of people do. We're not saying 75% of this, 20% this. It's very simple. 20 grams of carbs. We don't want to complicate it. And eat
it's just easy.
It's really easy. And so basically what that does is that causes you to get full, and you don't eat as often because your appetite is suppressed. And as a result, you end up eating less calories and you end up losing weight. Simple as can be. I mean, there's no simpler way. You don't necessarily have to worry about exercise. We do a little bit. A few times a week, we'll do some
high-intensity training.
High-intensity interval training.
Oh, man, it hurts too. So we really push ourselves.
Yeah, push ourselves, but it's only 3 days a week at the most. And so there you go. Oh, there we go. Much better. Better than what? I don't know. Hard to see because we're quite a ways from the screens. All right, so that's what we're talking about. Those fatty meats and other fats too are important. So some of the things to think about, and we kind of dissuade people from eating vegetable oils for the most part, and all that has to do with the processing, especially certain vegetable oils, whether it be the canolas, the sunflowers, the corn oils. They are all omega-6 oils, and by the way, omega-6 is very good for you. Your body can't produce it. But the problem with these vegetable oils is not the fact that they come from the vegetables, it's the way that they have to get them out. So in order to get these oils from corn or safflower or any of these things, you have to put high...
That was just me.
It was just you? Okay.
Yeah.
You have to put high temperature and chemicals in order to extrude the oils from these plants. And when you do that, it causes oxidation. And so when you get the omega-6 from these oils, you're getting damaged, oxidized oils, which causes
good for your body.
It causes oxidation in your body, which causes free radicals, which causes all sorts of problems, inflammation, potential for cancers. They become carcinogenic. So there are other places for you to get these omega-6s that are not in these vegetable oils. Some of those are eggs. Eggs are a great place to get omega-6s. So omega-6, while it's important, you don't want to overconsume these damaged oils, right? You want to get them from safe places to get these oils. So there's omega-6s in chicken and eggs. A lot of meats have omega-6s that are good for you. So soybean oil, corn oil, we're just kind of recommending that you don't go that route for those because of how they're produced.
And what do they do in restaurants? They
load you up,
sell it back to you, or sell it back to be used for
for diesel fuel, right? And actually, that was the first purpose of these corn oils and oils and that such was for industrial purposes. So basically, you're just ingesting industrial oil, which is not good. The next fat that you should definitely avoid would be trans fats. And what a trans fat is a lot of times it's the same vegetable oils, and they go through one more process to make them appear stable. And what I mean by stable is that they become at room temperature, like 70 degrees, they solidify. Now, in nature, if you can find an oil that solidifies at 70 degrees, it's actually a very good thing, right? Yeah, olive oil is fine as long as you don't heat it. So
not at high temperature.
Yeah, you don't want it at high temperature because it has a low smoke point. So if you think about it, people recommend.
I still use it.
Yeah, people recommend extra virgin olive oil. Well, the reason for that is they cold press it. There's never any heat added to get that first oil out of the olive oil. So if you can do olive oil, consume the olive oil in salads, or maybe even a low temperature stir fry is fine, but never overheat it. Also, we talk about the processing of the oils. Another thing that damages oils is light, right? So if you get some olive oil or corn oil, whatever, and they put it in a clear container and they put it on the shelf for months before you even get it, the whole time it's getting more oxidation and becoming rancid. Now, you can't taste the rancidity or smell it because they add deodorizer to it. So when they process it and they apply all this heat to these vegetable oils, it stinks really bad. So what they do is they filter it again and they add deodorizer to it so it neutralizes the smells. Think about that. It's really just not great. Avocado oil is great. If another one that you can add heat to. We'll talk about the omega-3s in a minute because that's one of the things for avocado oil. It's a little bit more expensive, of course, but it's really is better to watch or to have oils that are not applied high temperature to. And for example, if you do have olive oil in your house, try to put it in a container that doesn't allow light through it. And so that's really important too, to keep it from going rancid over time. That way it can be stable on your shelf for longer. So we were talking about trans fats a minute ago. So they take these vegetable oils, they put them through another process, which causes them to solidify at room temperature, which then makes them actually even more dangerous, right? That trans fats have definitely been linked to heart disease by everybody. Nobody's arguing with that point of view. So trans fats is what they used to use, or they still use actually, in your fast foods, right? So I used to work, in fast food, and I can remember they would bring these big blocks of trans fat and put it in the fryer and then add more heat to it. And they would let it, go for several days. So you keep adding more and more heat to it. And it's already trans fat. And so when your French fries, you think about it, you're getting a ton of trans fats that just aren't great for you. So those are the omega-6s. Again, good omega-6. Omega-6 is vital for your body. It's just that you don't want damaged omega-6s, right? So try to focus on omega-6s, and they might be in bacon grease and chicken, things like that are great for your body. The next would be omega-3s. And you could find those, the most famously, you'll find that in salmon. You'll find it in avocados.
Avocados are my favorite.
Yeah, avocado oil. Walnuts are the highest nut in omega-3s. And we like walnuts. We eat those a lot.
I even make a candied walnut.
Yeah. I mean, even though they're not on our food list, I mean, it's one of those things we'll have maybe a small serving of walnuts. Just keeping that in mind is that your body does need the omega-3s.
Can't help it.
Well, we don't have the sneeze shield or the sneeze.
I know. That's why I sneeze that way. I sneeze on Santa.
So omega-3s. Another way I like to get omega-3s, and maybe you don't, but is sardines. Sardines are loaded in omega-3 oils and all sorts of nutrients.
Yeah, all the keto people highly recommend you eat sardines.
Yeah, and the way I like to eat them is we buy them a little can. They're cheap too. They're like less than $2 a can. You can get them in mustard sauce. You can get them hot sauce. If you don't, that helps cover up any taste that you might not like of the sardines. But it's one of those things that kind of grows on you after a while. I
like the hot sauce.
Yeah,
those are good.
Sardines are great, and they're great nutrition-wise as well. So those are those fats. Oh, and by the way, so coconut oil is another great source. And what's great about coconut oil, it is naturally stable, right? So it definitely solidifies at room temperature. So it's a very stable oil. It's great for cooking in, has a very mild flavor, etc.
High heat.
Yeah, and it can handle higher heat, but avocado oil is the best. It can handle well over 500 degree smoke point. So if you can use a little bit of avocado oil, that's fine.
Mhm.
But the oils that we mostly cook in are not those. We do add those a little bit. You can add them to your coffee, etc. But we cook in greases that we have left over from our
Bacon
meats.
grease.
Yeah, bacon grease.
I use butter sometimes.
Butter, and even we cook hamburgers for our dogs, right? It's pretty much their primary food, and so we save the hamburger grease and we use it, and it's really a mild flavor. You really can't. It doesn't have any extra flavor in it, so it works great as a grease for, I don't care if you're cooking eggs or other meats or whatever. It works very well, and it saves a lot of money because you're not having to buy any extra oils. You just use what you currently have on hand. So those are the healthy fats, right? You can eat as much of that as you want, right? Again, we don't add extra fats. Oh, so one other thing to talk about fats. I said to avoid those damaged omega-6s, right?
Right.
But sometimes it's just not practical. I mean, sometimes if you want some mayonnaise, it's hard to find mayonnaise that doesn't have soybean oil in it, right? Don't sweat it. I mean,
we use Duke's.
And we use Duke's. Sometimes we make our own mayonnaise with avocado oil, which is fantastic, or olive oil.
He makes it. And it's excellent.
It's very good. It doesn't last long. I mean, whether we eat it or it doesn't have a lot of shelf life because we don't add any preservatives. So there's between times that we have to use the Duke's mayonnaise, and that's okay. If you think about how you're currently saving on not eating much of these damaging oils, is the fact that you're not eating baked goods.
Right.
Because a lot of baked goods have they have Crisco and all that in them when they're baking. Anytime you bake, you bake a lot of it. They say here, add Crisco or shortening to your baked goods. Well, that's a ton of damaging oil that you would get in your body. If you were making your stuff at home and you're using butter and you're using these healthy fats, Shauna makes some awesome chocolate avocado cookies.
Yeah,
that are keto friendly.
I got that from Keto Connect.
They're fantastic.
They're some of the best. It's the best recipe for cookies that I've come across yet.
Yeah, keto or otherwise, they're just great.
Yeah. Look up Keto Connect on YouTube, and they have avocado cookies. You would think that would be an odd ingredient, but really they're the most delicious cookies, even any I've had outside of keto that aren't keto cookies.
Yeah, they're fantastic. So I mean, I always request her to make them, and then they're loaded in fat, so they make a great fat bomb too. You can freeze them or whatever and keep them on hand. So that's good. All right. So anything else that we can cover on healthy fats? Did I explain things?
I think you did good.
Right. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just gathering information that I read. Right? We're not medical professionals, but I'm trying to gather as much information as I can on this.
We've done a lot of research, though. We really have.
That's one of the things
he's the researcher.
One of the things about this way of eating is I have learned more about my body and more about nutrition than I ever knew or even cared to know in other ways of eating. Right. So I think it's been very beneficial in that way. And I try to share that whenever I can. So like on our Facebook group, the KetoMojoGogo Facebook group, on our page, if I come across a video or information that I think is really interesting, I try to post it out there. So, I mean, take care and take a look at that stuff.
We follow Dr. Westman.
Yeah, Dr. Eric Westman's our main source for the ketogenic diet, but there's a lot of other sources like Dr. Ken Berry, who gives great information on cholesterol and these type of things that are just
Dr. Bosworth.
Yeah, Dr. Annette Bosworth. There's a lot of good ones out there, and we try to share as much information as we can.
So the medical field is starting to recognize that, the ketogenic diet is actually a very healthy way to go, and they're treating diabetic patients, and it's actually helping people no longer test as diabetic.
Yeah, it's reversing type 2 diabetes, and that's what it did with me, right? So I was getting ready to go on insulin. I was on metformin, and I started eating this way within a couple of months. That's no longer true. My A1C went from in the high 6s down to 5.0 in a short amount of time. So it's just really life-changing for us.
It's okay, Pika.
Yeah, we've got a puppy in the background. Sorry if you hear her making noises occasionally. All right, so the next topic, should I fast? And one of the things about fasting is all of a sudden it's become very trendy in the ketogenic world.
You don't have to fast.
But yeah, so here's the protocol. The protocol for our ketogenic diet is what? That's me. Oh, thank you. The protocol for our way we do the ketogenic diet is you keep your carbs under 20 grams. You eat fatty meats and vegetables until you're full, and you don't eat when you're not hungry. Now, that might end up, if you don't eat when you're not hungry, sometimes we'll go 16, 18, maybe even hours, maybe even a whole day before we eat, because sometimes we actually forget to eat, right? So the thing is we're not purposely fasting.
Right.
It's not part of the ketogenic protocol. But there are some benefits to not eating as often. It keeps your insulin levels stable, those type of things. But I'm not pushing people to fast.
No.
Because what I'm seeing a lot of happening is that people are almost using fasting punitively, right? And it should never be that. You should never feel deprived when you're on this way of eating. Now, again, if you're not hungry and you don't feel like eating, don't eat. Is that fasting? Maybe. Yeah. I guess you could call it that. A lot of people do what they call time restrictive eating, and we kind of do that.
We do that,
right?
Kind of,
not
but we
purposely.
Don't restrict ourselves,
right? We're not
intentionally.
I'm not feeling guilty if I eat something early.
I'm just not hungry as much anymore. I feel so satisfied. So.
Right. So our way of doing this is that we get up in the morning, we're not hungry, right? And that's because we ate last night. So we haven't eaten yet today. It's 12:20. I'm not hungry yet.
I'm not hungry either.
So
we've had coffee too.
Yeah, so
we're not fasting according to the keto police. Mm-hmm. Let me do that right. Keto police. Mm-hmm. We're not keto police here. We don't do that. We don't care.
No. But by having our coffee with a little cream in it, it seems to satiate us for a while. And then we may not eat till 1 or 2 o'clock in our first meal of the day.
Sometimes it's our only meal of the day because then we're not hungry. We eat so well, we don't. Sometimes we're not hungry for the rest of the day.
Right. So, but it should never be punitive, right? And I've seen that a lot of these Facebook groups lately. It's like, oh, hey, I cheated such and such, and I ate I ate this, and I feel really guilty. And someone say, well, you need to fast for 3 days. Like, what in the world? So now you've failed once, and now you're going to try to fast for 3 days, and you're going to fail again, which is going to cause you to have even a worse idea about failing. So don't do that.
Who joined us?
I don't know. Bring item on camera.
Okay.
So
thank you for joining us. Yeah. You might be one of my Lotro buddies.
Hello.
Jocelyn's on. Good morning, baby.
Hi, Jocelyn. That's our daughter. She lives out in Washington State.
And Sharina.
And Sharina, she lives on the other side of Florida from us. Yeah. So thanks. Hey, guys. And Merry Christmas to everybody, by the way.
I'm losing my hat.
You can see we got our Christmas hats on. But yeah, so the last thing we want people to do is be punitive about fasting. I mean, again, if you just eat when you're until you're full and don't eat when you're not hungry, sometimes fasting just happens, and that's fine. And there's a lot of benefits. I mean, there's a lot of good benefits that people are finding from fasting. I mean, it helps them get their insulin in check.
Doggone live.
Gets their insulin in check. It helps things like that, and that's fine. I have no problem with fasting. But I'm not going to try to say you should fast. That's not part of our protocol. And if you do it, great. If it helps you, fantastic. It might come to a time as if we ever hit a long stall, like say for a month or something, when we stop losing weight, it might be something I try. But there's going to be other things I try first, right? It might be I'm not going to have bulletproof coffee so often. Right
Which now we don't do, but maybe twice a week.
Yeah, we do it on Sundays and Thursdays now.
We used to do it every morning, and then I hit. Well, Casey hates the word stall, but
or plateau. But she hovered for a bit, and so she tweaked.
And I was frustrated and hadn't lost for about 3 weeks, and then this week, 3 days in a row, I lost about half a pound each day.
So you can always tweak it. I mean, you can just adjust your calories, etc. But fasting is not the first place I'm going to go. Right, I'm going to try maybe even lowering my carbs even more. I mean, we're thinking about in January. We just talked about it this morning. Maybe it's World Carnivore Month for January, right? So we're thinking about maybe doing 0 carb for a month and see how it goes, and just eat meat and dairy products.
No. I might miss my vegetables. But we'll see.
But it's not a sin if you don't, right?
Yeah.
Just, okay, well,
just go back.
We'll go non-carnivore for one day. It doesn't matter, but it's just.
Jesse said Merry Christmas to you guys.
Oh, well, thank you.
Love you, baby.
So anyway, that's it. My spiel on fasting is if you want to do it, fine, but it's not keto. It's not anti-keto, but it's not part of the regimen or the protocol for what we're doing. We may do it occasionally, but it's not part of the keto protocol.
Yeah. All
right. So those are the topics we wanted to cover. And the other thing I just kind of wanted to talk about was, so 2/3 of the United States right now is either overweight or obese. 50% of the United States
a lot of people.
Is either diabetic or pre-diabetic. And so
we were there.
We hit that, that line in the sand that we wanted to stop, right?
We were considered morbidly obese.
Yeah.
We each lost weight. I lost 45 pounds now because I lost 2 more this week.
I'm down 57.
Yeah.
So we hit our point. So it's sad that we have to do it this way, right? That we have to find that point where it's dangerous. Fortunately, it was before we had a heart attack, right?
We don't want to leave the kids yet.
No.
We want to stay around and torture Sharina and Jocelyn.
But we want to help get that message out to people sooner, right? Before you get to that point, maybe you should think about changing, not eating all those sugars, right?
Right.
Not eating all those grains.
Start cutting little things out, like your Cokes you have to have every day.
If we could just turn that tide a little bit and not get to a point where, you come to a metabolic crisis like we did. We don't want to see that for everybody. We'd rather see people live longer, healthier lives instead of.
I wish I had known about this when we were in 20s. Sorry to cut you off.
Nope. I'm glad you did. I want to hear your voice too.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we want to see people be healthier longer and not have to deal with this. One of the things I talk about, we started our own group for keto for autoimmune diseases because we both have those.
Yeah.
And we've seen some major improvements.
Other people have noticed it too. We're not the only ones.
Yeah. I mean,
I've heard so many miracle cases that, hey, my lupus isn't flaring anymore. I personally am not testing positive for that anymore.
Yeah.
Our labs came back really, really good, except for cholesterol.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's another topic.
Yeah.
But I mean, my inflammation kind of went up again a little bit, but that's just a number. I feel better, right? And again, it's transitory, right? So one of the things you got to think about, we've lost a lot of weight fairly quickly. And so we are dumping a lot of crap that's been built up in our cells into our bloodstream. So these numbers will be transitory and they may seem high temporarily. But the point is my actual inflammation is down. My fingers aren't swollen. I'm sleeping through the night.
I can wear my wedding rings again after 15 years.
So there's a lot of reasons. And by the way, we talked first about those damaging oils at the beginning, those damaging omega-6s that are in the vegetable oils cause inflammation. And there's nobody's arguing about that. That's just a fact. So if you can avoid the sugars, the grains, and the damaging omega-6s, eat the healthy omega-6s, but just avoid the damaging ones. That right there helps a lot of people inflammation-wise. Whether they go full keto or whatever, that's not necessarily as important. It's just getting away from those poisons that you're putting into your body that accumulate over time and make you sick. So we just want people to be healthy, right? We care about.
We want to inspire others to feel better. Feel better, not only health-wise, but feel better confidence-wise. Yeah.
We're putting a lot of work into these Facebook groups and putting a lot of stuff out there. So we really hope you guys are enjoying that. And let us know if you do. Make sure you put it in the comments that you're actually getting some value out of what we're doing, so we stay strong. Because sometimes
we get frustrated.
or saddened if people aren't giving us reactions. And it's like, well, is anybody here? Does anybody hear us? And we just really want to help people.
Do you hear us?
Do you hear what I hear? Oh, it's Christmas.
Do you hear?
Yeah. So, all right. Well, guys, we hope you all have a very Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And happy Hanukkah and happy Kwanzaa, happy Festivus, happy all of everything. And we will definitely be back next Sunday doing our New Year's version. All right. And thanks, guys, for
don't
for
stress too much during these.
Yeah, it's Christmas time. We really
enjoy your families. I wish were here.
Eat a lot of meat and fill up on that
girls.
stuff, and that way you won't be so tempted on the other not as healthy food. But sometimes it happens, right? Merry Christmas, Teresa, to you too as well.
Merry Christmas.
All right, guys. Merry Christmas, and we're gonna say Keto,
Mojo, go out. I missed the keto.